So welcome back, guys, to another video. And before I get into today's topic, I think a lot of us can agree with all this mandatory shutdown and quarantine, staying inside. There's no doubt a lot of us need to get our hair done. And with all the barber shops and beauty salons being closed, I felt very adventurous and decided to cut my own hair. And I feel like I didn't do too bad of a job. I have no background being a barber. But the reason I'm talking about this is because I did watch a YouTube video that was straight to the point, very informative, had some great instructions of how to. And that is KetJoy. I'm gonna have a link to the description of this video to check out his channel, check out the video that I watched in case you are feeling adventurous and you want to give yourself a haircut. But enough about cosmetology. Today is another episode of games I've been playing. See, I'm a very optimistic guy. I look at glasses half full, and I do have some silver lining with all this crazy mess going on, and that is I've had more free time to play more video games. So I've been making a lot more of these sort of episodes, and what I really love about this series, it gives me a chance to talk about a big plethora of games, of a catalog, and at the end of the day, hopefully makes your day a little brighter and gives you a new game to play with all my recommendations and reviews. So, the first game I want to talk about is a Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now, the last episode I talked about playing the demo, and since then I bought the game digitally, and what can I say? I think a lot of us can agree that Resident Evil 3 is a very special game. It's a game I played back in the Christmas of '99, and it was a very different kind of Resident Evil because, you know, of course you're being chased by nemesis, you could use the environments to kill zombies. So when I heard about this remake, I was very, very curious because I absolutely loved the Resident Evil 2 remake. So what can I say about this? It's a short, fun-filled ride. Now what I mean by this is, you know, I beat the game in about like 5 to 6 hours. And you know, the original Resident Evil 3 was very short, but this is a pretty short game for a $60 retail. So if you want to wait for a sale, that's totally valid. I can totally understand that. But I will say I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. I was playing it with my girlfriend, and you know, I enjoyed all the jump scares and scaring her while we were playing, and it was a lot of fun. There's some replayability to it, I will admit. You know, you can unlock some things as you go through the game more and more, including difficulties and weapon upgrades and whatnot. But, you know, I will say, as much as I enjoy it, I can understand why some people are waiting for a sale. But either way, I definitely recommend it. Now, if you guys have been following me on social media, you guys know I've been chipping away at the Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PlayStation 4. And first of all, it still feels weird saying Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's something I never would have thought we would have. I mean, matter of fact, back in 2015, when I made my Final Fantasy VII Memories video, I was saying that we would never get a Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know if we'll ever get an actual remake of Final Fantasy VII. That's right there on the shelf with Shenmue 3. Here we are in 2020 with Shenmue 3 and now the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I finally beat it, and wow, what a game. You know, I was playing it for about 2 hours. I sat it down this past week, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna stop playing for a little bit because me and my girlfriend both had the day off, and she was like, I'm enjoying watching this, you should keep playing. And I'm like, okay. So I kept playing, and she was watching, and I was explaining, you know, some of the story to her because she wasn't really familiar with Final Fantasy. She's never played the original. And then it got to the point we went from chapter 11 to chapter 16. It was 2 a.m. and I'm like, okay, I need to get some sleep. And I remember I woke up the next morning with the smell of coffee throughout the house. She was brewing a fresh cup of coffee, and she looked at me and she gave me my mug, and she was like, I want to see you finish this game. So that's what we did. I mean, we got up, played some more, and I beat it. And you know, I don't want to give away any spoilers. I really feel like this is a very special game, especially if you're a longtime fan, that this is something you need to experience on your own. But I will say the ending is very interesting, and I'm very curious of seeing what the next episode is going to be. And despite this game being an episodic title, being like the first part of Final Fantasy VII, it still took me about 35 hours to finish, and that's not doing all the side quests. So would I recommend it? Absolutely. I would say even if you didn't play the original, I feel like you would still get a lot of excitement and a lot of enjoyment from this title. It's only April, and this is definitely in my Game of the Year contender.
Every last one of you is going down.
That's right. Let me do this. Too late. Ha. Come on. Gotcha. Keep it up. Keep on. Gotcha. Worked up a good sweat.
Now, we went to Walmart the other day. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because this is kind of a funny metaphor, because I bought this game at Walmart, and this is kind of what Walmart was like for me. I bought a copy of Katamari Damacy Reroll on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I love this series. I remember playing it on the PS2 back in 2004. It's very unique and very quirky and niche, and it's got an amazing soundtrack. You're trying to rebuild a universe by just rolling stuff. I mean, you start off with just like little items, and as you progress your Katamari ball, it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and before you know it, you went from pushing thumbtacks to skyscrapers. It's a lot of fun. It's very addictive, and the reason why I was laughing is I was getting this game, and Walmart was a pure madhouse. I was like, this is like Katamari Damacy right here. I mean, people were just like rolling around and just getting what they could and throwing it into buggies. The buggies were growing bigger. You can only go one direction. It really made me think of the game, and it's like this kind of, it's a very, very like funny metaphoric way of shopping at Walmart. But Katamari Damacy on the Nintendo Switch is definitely a lot of fun to check out. It's a remake. It's a remaster, I should say, of the first title, and it's great because a lot of folks get a chance to experience this game in case you've missed it after all these years. Now, recently I was kind of craving some Typing of the Dead. I was really wanting to play that, and unfortunately I do not have a keyboard for my Sega Dreamcast, so I was looking at some emulation options, but I wasn't really finding anything, so I decided to hop on Steam. I was like, Steam probably has some sort of game that's like Typing of the Dead, if anything. And lo and behold, they had Typing of the Dead Overkill. Now, Typing of the Dead Overkill is a port of House of the Dead Overkill that was on the Nintendo Wii that I absolutely loved, so I was very intrigued and very excited to be playing a game that was, quenching my thirst of typing out, zombie kills, and also enjoying a game that I really loved on the Nintendo Wii. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, if you're unfamiliar with Typing of the Dead, it's pretty much like a light gun shooter like you would expect out of House of the Dead, but the difference is instead of using a light gun, you're typing out different phrases and sentences on the keyboard. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I had so much fun playing it with my girlfriend. We had it hooked up to the TV. I gave her a Bluetooth keyboard. Life was good. If you're someone who's not the best at typing, this may be something to check out, but I will not recommend it to kids because it's got a lot of cussing in it. Matter of fact, I think House of Dead Overkill at one point had the Guinness Book of World Records for the most F-bombs in a video game. But it's hilarious, and it's got that 70s kind of cheesy grindhouse kind of flair to it. I really enjoyed it on the Wii. It's probably one of my favorite games, and if you want to play it a little different and enjoy it on Steam, Typing of the Dead Overkill is definitely something to check out.
Shit! I fucking hate these zombies!
Mutants, how many times do I have to tell you not to use the Z word?
Now, the last game I want to mention is Super Mario Maker 2. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, because I know I've talked about this game numerous times. As a matter of fact, this is my #1 recommendation for any Nintendo Switch owner. If you have a Switch, you need to get this game. But the reason why I'm recommending it and the reason why I'm talking about it is because they just released a new update. Unfortunately, this is the last major update for Super Mario Maker 2, but what an update it is. First and foremost, they add a bunch of new power-ups, including the ability to turn into Super Mario Bros. 2 Mario. That adds a whole new element of gameplay of picking up items and throwing. And also they added some things from Super Mario 2 as well, like the really scary mask that chases you around if you grab the key. I can imagine the anxiety of doing that with a sun chasing you and doing a speed run. I could just imagine that. But you can do that, as well as they added the Koopalings, because most importantly, they added a whole course maker. That's right, you have the ability to make 8 worlds and 40 levels. People are making full-fledged Mario games right now. And this is something, in my opinion, the epitome and the definitive way right now to play a 2D Mario game. This is my favorite game of all time when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. I absolutely love Super Mario Maker 2. Me and my girlfriend, we enjoy doing expert speed runs. That's what we do. We like get, a couple of beers, we sit there, we load up the Nintendo Switch and we play a bunch of speed runs. That's what we do. And this is why, if you go on my Nintendo Switch, this is a game that I've put about over 200 hours into. I absolutely love this. But anyway, guys, those are some games I've been playing recently. What have you been playing? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts and opinions of some of the games I've mentioned and some of the games you've been playing. And, what have you been doing right now to kind of keep yourself busy with all this quarantine stuff? I'd love to hear that as well. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, but also hit the bell so you're notified on all future content that comes out on this channel. And if you want to support the channel and look good while doing it, you can check out the Xander Skullion Teespring store, and if you use the promo code Stay Safe, you actually get 10% off your next purchase. So you can get some Xander Skullion mugs, you can get some t-shirts, what have you. Any sort of purchase definitely helps going into the show and making a better production. And thank you guys so much for all support. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, happy gaming.